This is one of those films that if you mention that you haven't seen it, everyone's like, oh my gosh, you haven't seen The Princess Bride? Oh my gosh, The Princess Bride is like my favorite movie ever. Every time that I was sick when I was a kid, I would always watch The Princess Bride. I watched that movie so many times the VHS tape got destroyed. I miss VHS. Now, I was in that camp of having not seen it for a very long time, so I went in a little cautious. I was worried it was one of those films that was powered by nostalgia and wouldn't hold up. Fun fact, nostalgia-powered vehicles emit fewer greenhouse gases than your standard V6. But man, you could go into The Princess Bride at any age and you will love it. This is one of those stories nested in a story. It's a grandfather reading the story of the Princess Bride to his sick grandson. And this mechanic works so well for The Princess Bride because it allows for these outside characters to comment on the action going on inside the story. The first instance of this happens right off the bat because as soon as the story starts, you can't help but notice the high level of melodrama. But then it pulls this really clever switch on you when the kid's like, whoa, 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 this is really schmaltzy. And you're like, oh, I'm seeing it too, I'm not crazy. And in that very moment, you're on board with this film because the kid is the audience. In being self-aware but from an outside commentator, it allows for the story to really push its style as hard as it possibly wants. It's also really interesting because in this fantasy first look in the Kingdom of Florin, you feel like everything is just cranked up to 11. See what I did, Rob Reiner? But after that initial interruption, suddenly you aren't aware of it anymore. It's like you've been recalibrated to it. Everything is gelling and you're ready to go on this adventure. In terms of story, we're introduced to Farm Boy Wesley and the lovely Buttercup. The two fall in love, and that's the first 5 minutes. You see, The Princess Bride isn't about falling in love, but showing what you're willing to do for love. Cause oh no, conflict! Cause it'd be a really weird story if it was just them in love. Buttercup is now supposed to marry the evil Prince Humperdinck. Adventure awaits in the name of love! And this passion that these two characters shared is spread all throughout the Kingdom of Florin. One of the most interesting characters that they encounter along the way is Inigo Montoya. His father was killed by a six-fingered man, and he's doing everything in his power to avenge that death. You know, like you do. This passion unites the characters and immediately gets the audience on their side. And if passionate characters weren't enough, the quotes in this movie will easily hook you. For those unfamiliar, The Princess Bride was written by William Goldman, who is in the simplest sense a phenomenal screenwriter. This guy traverses genre like nobody's business, but The Princess Bride is super saturated with amazing quotes. Not only is it bursting with fun exchanges, but the film isn't afraid to pepper in some philosophy on love and life. That's actually one of the big things that separates this film from so many kids' films today. The movie isn't talking down to you. It's not targeted just at kids, it's a family film. Everyone can be getting something out of it. It's putting character, story, and setting first. It's not looking to build a franchise, it's looking to be a perfect package. Oh, and now that I'm ranting just a little bit, when was the last time that you saw a fantasy film that had practical effects in it? You have to understand, I appreciate CGI, and it allows directors to do a multitude of things. And some directors are able to blend practical effects and CGI wonderfully in terms of creating worlds. But the rest of Hollywood? That tangible interaction frequently isn't there, and the audience can tell when there's a disconnect. Now, I'm not saying that The Rodent of Unusual Size isn't a little bit cheesy, but I'll always be more impressed by Masterful Puppetry than a CGI mouse who can skateboard. But I shouldn't grump on CGI. I just worry about Hollywood putting so much focus on computers. Because a day will come when those computers will become sentient. And they won't want to make movies anymore. They'll want to make us dead. But The Princess Bride, what a lovely not robots trying to murder us movie! You can't help but get absorbed in this fantasy kingdom full of colorful characters, and you delight in the clever quips and musical accents that accompany action. While it may be a fairy tale, the story of The Princess Bride is one that wants you to embrace the idea of true love. It's magical! And a magic-powered vehicle? I'll take that over nostalgia any day. The MPG is great. So those are my thoughts on The Princess Bride. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you want, you can check out previous reviews, or you can check me out on all them social networking sites, be it Facebook, Twitter, or Tumblr. So comment, click, and keep loving movies. As for me, well, I actually tried reviewing this film a while back when I was sick, because I thought, oh, it'd be kind of a cool connection, because you watch this all the time when you're sick, and I'm sick. But being sick, well, that actually served as quite a hindrance. But the one good thing to come out of that attempt was all the times that I coughed, sneezed, or cleared my throat while trying to record the review. So here's that.